Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. In this video, we will have our discussion on the upcoming transit of planet Mars, which on December 28th will transit to the Sagittarius sign, and from December 28th till February 4th, it's going to be strengthened in the sign of its very good friend, planet Jupiter. So guys, as you know this thing that during this year, once Mars will enter the Sagittarius sign, it will definitely get involved with other planets as well. Like definitely for a while, it is going to be creating a exchange yoga with the planet Jupiter, because Jupiter is transiting in the sign of Mars in the Aries, and Mars is going to be transiting in the sign of the planet Jupiter, Sagittarius. Second thing is that it is going to be briefly conjunct with the planet Sun as well in the Sagittarius, and also with its fourth aspect, it is going to be influencing the planet Rahu as well, like Rahu, which is transiting in the Pisces. So what does it indicate? So it simply means that, let's say for example, if Mars plays a very important role in your life, then this entry and this strengthened state of the planet Mars can actually trigger some positive events in your life. Now, what kind of events can Mars trigger? So we all know this thing that Mars, which is a planet of courage, of confidence, of your prowess, of your willpower. So let's say for example, in whichever capacity you are operating, and specifically we have to blend the domain of the Sagittarius as well. Any of the concerns of teaching, education, law, finance, banking, import, export, immigration related concern and all. So definitely all those people can actually feel uplifted. Guys, like the way I always say this thing, that being a Mars ruled person by myself, I still would say this thing that Mars is much better off in the signs of, like, this could be Leo or this could be Sagittarius, because Mars has got a rulership over Aries, where it tend to become very impulsive. And when we talk about the Scorpio, so we all know this thing that Scorpions have this capacity to hold up negative toxic emotions for long, easily getting hurt, getting into that mode of vengeance and all. So I would say this thing that definitely Mars's entry in the Sagittarius, that too it is happening at a time when very soon, like at the end of the month, Jupiter is coming out of its retrograde motion, Mercury is coming out of its retrograde motion. So definitely it is going to be a harbinger of good news for lot many people. So okay guys, now after this we will shift our discussion to the customized results for all the rising signs, and starting first with the Aries Lagna. So definitely guys, in your case, because Mars becomes your ascendant lord, so any shift or transition in its motion will definitely have an impact in your life. So that in itself means that, let's say for example, from the past couple of weeks, you are kind of finding yourself being hurt in the emotional entanglement, any of the concerns of vulnerability towards getting cut, accidents, wounds, or too much pondering over the negative emotions or wounds of the past. So definitely you will suddenly feel a very uplifted energy once Mars, your ascendant lord, will transit to the 9th house. Nothing could be better than that. If right now your aspirations are attached or aligned with the 9th house, like let's say for example, you are pursuing your higher studies, any of the concerns of immigration, any of the concerns of you are in a education, teaching, training industry, then definitely this Mars will act as a support for you. And lastly guys, like the way I always say this thing, Mars's transit in the 9th house, and the way it is forming a exchange yoga with your 9th house lord as well. So for a lot many people, this will also create a yoga of pilgrimages or getting in touch with someone who's very religiously or spiritually oriented. So the good part over here is that during this phase you will be mentored or very well guided by people around you. So overall it is a very uplifting yoga or energy for the Aries Lagna natives. So guys, like I will recommend that if you can take out time for any of the religious travel and all, so you should give it a priority, because your 5th house lord, your ascendant lord, too much of the energy is now concentrated in your 9th house. So it is a golden time for you to encash on it. Moving ahead guys, now for the Taurus Lagna natives. So guys, in your case now, as you can see that Mars is your 12th house and your 7th house lord, and in the transit it is going to be entering your 8th house. So definitely guys, like whenever the 7th house lord is going to the 8th house, that in itself means that in any of the life's matters you will need the guidance of your spouse. This is a kind of a typical combination where if you are trying to do things on your own, you might not be able to handle it well. And guys, we all know this thing that whenever Mars goes to the 8th house, somehow it extract or trigger the negative toxic emotions of the past. But the good thing is that the way it is forming a exchange yoga with the planet Jupiter, and Sagittarius in itself is a very wisdom oriented sign. So the good part over here is that even if you will ponder or mull over the past, you will only end up extracting some morals or wisdom or good learnings. This could be even from your past mistake as well. Whenever Mars is transiting from the 8th house, we always recommend drive carefully, wear your helmet, wear your seat belt. And if in your line of work, like dealing with any tools, weapons, sharp edged things is involved, so you have to be very careful around them. And also guys, for all those people who are in the insurance, in the revenue, or any of the 8th house occult related industry, in any capacity you are connected with research, exploration and all, so this entry of Mars in your 8th house will definitely benefit you. Now guys, as you know this thing that the way I mentioned this thing that Mars is going to be forming an exchange yoga with your 12th house lord transiting planet Jupiter as well. So 12th house and 8th house is getting accentuated. That in itself means that any of the matters of life and death, research, exploration, travels during this time will definitely benefit you. And for all those people who are, if you are already going through some sort of confusion, misunderstanding in your existing relationship, or even let's say for example you are single, you are on a lookout for a partner for yourself. So whenever the 7th house lord is transiting in the 8th house, a lot many times what happen is that lot many things tend to remain hidden or very secretive from us. So be very cautious if you have to give your nod, if you have to confirm anything, any deal, any contract, any agreement. So yes guys, this is all what I can see for the Taurus Lagna natives. Now guys, for all the Gemini rising natives, so guys in your case now, as you can see that Mars becomes your 11th house and your 6th house lord, and now it is going to be entering your 7th house. So guys, to begin with, Mars in any case is not a favorable planet for your Lagna. Now the good thing is that the only one good thing which I am seeing over here is that Mars is not afflicted when it is in the Sagittarius, and the role which it is playing right now, because it is kind of forming a exchange yoga with your 11th house, like the 11th house lord. So that in itself means that during this time friends could actually play a very pivotal role in closing some important deal. If in your line of work, public dealing, public service, public performances, if all of that is getting applicable, then this could be a very harmonious time for you. Definitely guys, 6th house lord is coming in the 7th house. That in itself means that as much as it is good for exerting your authority in a right way, as much as it is good for you to do something good in any competitive sphere, but when it comes down to the harmony within your existing relationship, this is not a very good energy over there. So yes, a lot many times what happen is that whenever planets are transiting or behaving like this, the partner tend to act little bit moody, whimsical, too much of the like suddenly getting into rage of anger and all. So if you already have anger related issues within your matrimonial life, then you have to remain careful. So rather guys, I would say this thing that like take out time for some physical activities like going to gym, doing yoga. If you can do that with your partner, that is also a very good thing. And second thing is that for closing any important deal, asking out for help or favors or reference will definitely work for you, and good time for scoring good or doing good in any competitive sphere. Now guys, when we talk about the Cancer rising natives, so guys in your case now, as you can see this thing that Mars becomes your 10th house and your 5th house lord, and in the transit it is going to be getting strengthened in your 6th house. So guys, whenever we talk about planet Mars being your Yokaraka planet being in the 6th house, it is generally considered as a good indication for exerting your authority in a right way, for doing something good in any competitive field. So let's say for example, in any capacity, you are a student, you have to write any competitive exam, you have any political aspiration, or in your corporate job lately or in imminent times to come, in next couple of days, some important decision needs to be made. So the thing is that Mars being in the 6th house make you ferocious enough to take your decision in a right way. Second thing is that guys, definitely It's a very good indication for all those people who are either working as a lawyer, as a health, nutrition, fitness expert. It is a very good time for you. And also, let's say for example, from the market, if you're trying to get money or get your loan approved and all of that, I always say this thing: whenever Mars is transiting from the 6th house and the kind of yoga or the role which it plays for you, it is a good time for getting money in loan. But when it comes down to giving your own money on credit to someone in order to help someone, that is something which is not generally recommended. And definitely guys, in your line of work, like let's say for example, you are a creator, you are a content creator, author, writer, performing artist, and if in any capacity you work as a crusader in order to inspire the masses, in order to uplift people, educate, inform the audience or the masses, then this transit is going to be very, very beneficial for you. And lastly guys, one thing which I want to say, because in your case Saturn is already transiting in your 8th house, so nothing is gonna come easy to you. You need to earn it. So the point which I'm trying to say over here is that, let's say for example, this could actually create some sort of yoga of opportunity for you, because exchange is getting formed between your 6th house and the 10th house. That in itself means opportunity will knock at your door, but in order to claim it, you need to show that conviction, that fearlessness. You have to prove your worth and mettle, or might have to get into some sort of conflict with people in order to prove your claim, your authority. So things will happen, but you need to work hard for that. That is all what I can say for the Cancer Lagna natives. Now guys, for all the Leo Lagna natives, so definitely guys, in your case as well, Mars becomes your Yog Karaka planet. And now as you can see that Mars has got a rulership over your 9th house and your 4th house, and in the transit it is going to be getting strengthened in your 5th house. So definitely guys, nothing would be better than that. It's like a yoga of exchange is taking place between your trine houses, between your 5th house and the 9th house. That in itself means that too much of the planetary energy getting concentrated in the 5th house. That in itself means that whether you are a performing artist or you are a student or in any capacity, like, because 5th house tells about the way our mind function. Now with the entry of Mars and the role which it plays for you, you will definitely be very competitive. You will not surrender, you will not give up very easy. And this kind of attitude actually helps a lot for people who are in a high pressure job, or let's say for example, you have to write any competitive exam, you are an athlete, and during this time only any selection process has to take place. So definitely this strengthened state of Mars in your 5th house will definitely help you. Also guys, because see, honestly speaking, why do we say this thing that all the lottery wins are seen from the 5th house? Because 4th house is the public, and second to it is the money of the public, which is the 5th house. So it is also very good yoga for some sudden speculative gain. So now again guys, speculation works differently for different people. This could be for a freelance person suddenly grabbing some very big opportunity, for someone suddenly making it big in the stock market, trading and all. So overall it is a good indication for the Leo Lagna natives. Any of the matters right now which is a pressing concern for you, which hovers around the matters of the 5th house, so universe, omens, energies are gonna definitely support you. Moving ahead guys, now for all the Virgo Lagna natives. So guys, in your case now, as you can see this thing that Mars has got a rulership over your 8th house and the 3rd house, and in the transit Mars is going to be entering your 4th house, getting strengthened over there. So guys, as you know this thing that although there is a exchange yoga getting formed between Mars and the planet Jupiter, but both of these two planets are not very strong planet for you. Second thing is that even if this exchange is taking place, so it is taking place between the 8th house and the 4th house. So the point which I am trying to say over here is that within your domestic life, this can actually increase the temperature. Like suddenly people are getting into each other's way, getting into conflict and all. And suddenly, because whenever the 8th house energy comes in your 4th house, so whatsoever problem will creep up, it might happen in a very sudden, unpredictable way. So you have to be very careful around it. Second thing is that because in your case Mars has also got your 3rd house as well. So 3rd house lord energy is going in the 4th house. That in itself means that a lot of the problem might get created or initiated because of your own headstrongness as well. So over there as well you have to stay calm. So guys, the only way I'm seeing this transit to be working out in your favor is that, let's say for example, you have any interest in the real estate, property, construction, manpower management, or you have got any of the political aspiration. But again guys, try to understand this thing, that whatsoever I have just mentioned, you will stand a chance over there. But right now is the time of sowing the seeds, because Saturn is also right now transiting in your 6th house. So that in itself means that Mars will definitely make you ferocious. It will definitely put you in a position where you will have a chance to prove yourself. So this is a kind of a typical yoga where if you are in a public service, like in politics, in real estate, in any of those domain, so if you are seeking and striving for a chance for that platform, that strong foundation, Mars will definitely grant you that, but you need to build it with your own conviction, with your own willpower. So yes guys, that is all what I can say for the Virgo Lagna natives. For all the content creators, freelance people, people in sales, media, marketing, journalists and all, my recommendation is that do not get too much into the self-judgment mode, because this will actually create those kind of circumstances where people will question you a lot, and you might be in this mode of retrospection or introspection, that you will start questioning your own skills, your own prowess and capabilities and all. So just guard yourself, your talent, your capabilities in that front. Moving ahead guys, now for all the my favorite Libra Lagna natives. So guys, in your case now, as you can see that definitely Mars has got a rulership over your 7th house and the 2nd house, and now in the transit Mars is going to be entering your 3rd house. So now guys, like the way I already mentioned this thing, that when it comes down to the planet Mars, I'm a bit biased over there. I always say this thing, either Mars is good when it is exalted, or Mars is better off whenever it is transiting or placed in the signs like Leo or Sagittarius. But when it is in its own sign like Aries or Scorpio, impulsiveness, holding negative emotions, Martian energy tend to remain very prone towards getting misguided. So I would say this thing, that let's say for example, if in the past couple of weeks you have not been in those situations where you got into problem because of your outburst, you got into problem because of some pondering over some past negative emotions and blurting it out in your family gathering and all of that, or let's say for example committing to the wrong person, or getting into misunderstanding, heavy confusion with your partner. So if you have not faced those kind of circumstances, so count your blessings. But now guys, the good part over here is that now Mars is going to be transiting in your 3rd house. Second thing is that the way it is forming a exchange yoga during this time, Jupiter is already going to be gaining pace, momentum after December 31st, when it will come out of its retrograde motion, and now forming this exchange yoga between your 7th house and the 3rd house will definitely be a harbinger of very good news for all the Libra Lagna natives. Now let's say for example you want to invest some money in your branding, in your marketing, in your promotion. This is a very good time for that. You work in the fields of sales, media, marketing, PR, it is a very good time for you. Let's say for example in any capacity you need to scale up your business, it is a very good time for that. Also, like if you have been seeking support from people around you and you always feel this thing that you lack over there, so during this time you will be able to muster up courage, or you'll be able to gather enough relevant support, references around you for getting the job done, getting the work done. So yes guys, and nothing would be better than that if you are a musician, freelance artist, designer. During this time only, exchange between the 7th house and the 3rd house, that in itself means that during this time only you have to sign any new contract, any new agreement, give any public performances and all of that. So the time period seems to be very, very much supporting you. So yes guys, I only have good things to say for the Libra Lagna natives during this transit. Moving ahead guys, now for all the Scorpio Lagna natives. So guys, in your case now, definitely as you can see that it is the transit of your ascendant lord. That in itself means that the whole attention of yours, priorities of yours will shift when Mars is going to be shifting its base from your ascendant to the 2nd house. So again guys, definitely pertaining to the matters of like doing something good or contemplating any of the changes in your financial portfolio, this is going to be a very good time period. Second thing is that guys, because as you can see that Mars is going to be forming a exchange yoga with your sixth house. Like sixth house and the second house are actually forming a exchange yoga. That in itself means that if you are in dire need of arranging some money from the market, this could be from sponsorship, funding, or like any of the loans getting approved and all, so chances are very strong that you will succeed in your that objective. The only thing is that, guys, you know this thing that whenever Mars is transiting from the second house, so give good attention to the words you use, give good attention to your eating and drinking habits, because whenever Mars is like transiting from the second house, a lot many people get into drinking and having too much meat and all. So over there, over indulgences is something which Mars can actually trigger, could tempt you. But definitely, guys, because second house also tells about your finances, about your income. So if your finances or your income is connected with the Mars, like anything to do with working as a realtor, anything to do with working in the fields of engineering, manpower management and all, so the entry of Mars in your second house will definitely benefit you. Moving ahead, guys, now for all the Sagittarius Lagna natives. So guys, in your case now, as you can see this thing that Mars in your case becomes your 12th house and the 5th house lord, and in the transit it is going to be entering your first house. So guys, definitely whenever a planet enters the first house, somehow the qualities and attributes of that planet gets reflected in our face, in our body language, in our persona. So during this time, definitely people will sense that sort of youthfulness in your personality. You might feel yourself very physically active, or you might be taking a lot of interest in these kind of adventure, physical activities, sports, gymming and all of that. Second thing is that, guys, definitely planet which is very favorable to you for your Lagna, and it is also going to be forming a exchange with your 5th house as well. So that in itself means that during this time, if you are in a business where you have to advise people, you have to give any public performances, you have to do any problem solving and all, so I would say that you'll be able to perform good, you'll be able to do good. Also, guys, for like standing a chance for some sudden speculative gains or some good returns on your past investments as well, this entry of Mars in your first house will definitely be considered as a very good news for you. So overall, guys, I only have good things to say. I can assure you that all the matters and attributes of the 5th house will definitely support you. If your life aspirations right now are connected or attached with the 5th house, you are heading the right way. And the good thing is that, guys, Mars is a very fearless kind of planet. So if you are in that line of work where you have to manage big teams, you have to exert your authority, so you'll be able to do that with complete perfection as well. Now, guys, when we talk about the Capricorn rising natives, so guys, in your case now, as you can see this thing that Mars has got a rulership over your 4th house and the 11th house, and in the transit it is going to be entering your 12th house. So definitely, guys, whenever we talk about the planet Mars, so Mars is a very youthful planet. Mars is very much prone towards picking up fights, or it's the Martian ruled people only who have got maximum hidden enemies and all, because see, it's a very fearless planet. It's a planet of courage. So there might be those situations where you can suppress any of the opposition, where people might be intimidated of you, but behind the scene they might be holding up a resentment or negative feelings towards you. So my recommendation is that during this time, try not to do anything which could trigger any of the negative emotions with the people around you. Second thing is that this is kind of a typical transit, guys, where I would recommend, because in any case Rahu is right now transiting in your 3rd house. And with the entry of Mars, your 4th house and your 11th house lord in the 12th house, my recommendation is that do not take any of the advice of, this could be family or friend, blindly. Take it with a pinch of salt, contemplate on it, do the proper SWOT analysis, look at the pros and cons, then only act on it. This could be any reference, this could be any advice, or this could be any help coming your way. Second thing is that definitely, guys, during this time, if your aspirations are somehow aligned with like import-export nature of work, or anything to do with the getting admission into foreign university and all. So over there the stars might help you. And also I would say this thing that, let's say for example, pertaining to some of the work related concerns, even if you have to travel overseas, so Sagittarius is a very inspiring sign. So definitely you will gain a lot of wisdom or inspiration from the people you will encounter during your travels. So overall guys, exchange is taking place between the 4th house and the 12th house, which is a typical yoga, where we say this thing that those people who are standing a chance for any transfer to a new department, transfer to a new branch, to a new city, generally all those kind of shift in your residing place, in your comfort zone, work out in your favor. And nothing would be better than that guys, if in your line of work you deal with the housing concerns, high-end luxury, high-end niche clients. So things could actually prove to be little bit expensive, but in long term it will definitely benefit you or will give you very good returns as well. Now guys, when we talk about the Aquarius rising natives, definitely guys, in your case Mars has got a rulership over your 3rd house and your 10th house, and now in the transit it is going to be entering your 11th house, which can be considered as a very good indication. Because guys, as you know this thing that 11th house is the house of success, 11th house is the house of your wish fulfillment, your network, or what eventually you will end up becoming in the life. So 3rd house and the 10th house lord is going over there. So that in itself means that your professional endeavors and your efforts will be very well guided or directed during this time. So there is a very least possibility that if you are in that stage where you're gonna initiate something or you will get involved in some new project and all, so it is going to get you misguided. There are very high chances that you will be putting your efforts in some right direction, and it will also bring some very important relevant people, like-minded people in your life during this day of Mars in your 11th house as well. Definitely guys, exchange is taking place between your 11th house and the 3rd house. So that in itself means that if you are a freelance artist, content creator and all, so during this time if you have to give any performance, so chances of your performance striking a chord with your audience, impressing your audience is going to be very strong, and actually ending up signing some important deals or getting some lucrative returns for your art and craft and all. So overall it is a very good time, whether you work in the fields of sales, media, marketing, content creation, travel and tour business. Overall it is a very uplifting time for all the Aquarius Lagna natives. Saturn being strengthened in your 1st house, and Mars, your 10th house lord, entering in your 11th house is a typical yoga of exerting your authority well, being considered for some position and standing out in any given situation. Lastly guys, for the Pisces Lagna natives, so guys, in your case now, as you can see this thing that Mars is a very favorable planet for you, having a rulership over the 2nd house and the 9th house, and in the transit it is going to be getting strengthened in your 10th house. So definitely guys, whatsoever planet enters the 10th house, our professional endeavors reflect the qualities, resonate the qualities, attributes of that planet. So definitely during this time you know how to exert your authority, how to handle different conflicting situation, how to get along well with your bosses, how to multitask, how to manage any team. So overall it is a very uplifting time for many Pisces Lagna natives. Any of the work related travel will prove to be very beneficial during this time only. If you have to give any public speech, any performances, you will be able to do very good. And also guys, in your financial portfolio as well, if you want to be trying to negotiate with your bosses regarding your remuneration, regarding your package and all of that, so this is going to be a very harmonious time for the Pisces Lagna natives. An exchange is getting formed between your 2nd house and your 10th house. That in itself means that the attributes of the 2nd will also help you, benefit you at your career front as well. So yes guys, this is something which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs for this upcoming transit of the planet Mars on December 28th. For further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. Dhanyavad.